Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Living Room Studio. I am your man out of Japan, Jay Contra, and I'm here with how to read a hard off label. Now, I need to tell you that this label is actually quite different from the one I'm used to seeing at the hard offs where I used to live, which are normally like all red. I guess this is a new one. I found this in the greater Tokyo area. This is also a label that is attached to a regular system on the main show floor. The labels attached to games and systems in the junk section can be different, but this is just your standard hard off label on a system. You might have been able to figure out this is for a Nintendo 64 console. So what we're going to do is we're going to read each part. This is one that I've translated myself, and actually if you want to have access to this, if you're in the store, I will have this up on my website that you can go visit at jcontra.com. I'll have the link in the description, or you can probably just search how to read a hard off label and hopefully find it. So in this video, we're just going to go through it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try and get back to you. Okay, so if we look up at this product, this is essentially, you walk up to the N64. This is what you see on the front of it. It's probably, the N64 has probably been shrink wrapped with a controller and the AV cable, so you can inspect that yourself, although there are some more details included on this label. So at the very top, well, it's actually, maybe, I don't know if I should have translated that or not, but it says Ryusuhin, which just means that it's a used product because everything in hard off is used. We've got on the top left, we've got Maker, obviously going to be Nintendo. On the right, we have the name of the product, in this case, the Nintendo 64. Beneath that, on the left, we have the model number, if that's relevant to you. Again, this is not meant for just video game systems, I believe, because hard off sells such a variety of items. This is, I think, going to be attached to a lot of different products, so it has to be kind of as generic as possible. So to the right of the model number, we have the MSRP. Now, this is something that secondhand stores do all the time in Japan, not just for stuff that's like 20 years old, because really it only tends to be like the games and the systems and certain electronics, like collectible electronics that they sell from like 20, 30 years ago. So here they've got the original MSRP, which is 25,000 yen. And I actually calculated this before the video, but back in 1996, that would have been, I think, $270. And that would have been $270 in 1996 dollars. So man, I don't even want to know what that would cost today. So the big number we want to focus on, though, is there in the center left, and that is the final price after tax. Now you can see the little kanji over to the right, like after that big white gap. There's the kanji there, and that means that tax is inclusive. I think most, if not always, at hard off, the price, the big price that they show is the price after tax. I've never been to a hard off that shows the big price as the one being before tax. Not all shops will include the tax in their price that they're showing on the label. So be very careful about that. And here it is 4,400 yen, which today is, I think, about like $40. I mean, I think it's even, actually, weirdly enough, in the year 2020, what is it now? 14? Oh God, no wait, nope. 24 years later, oh, I'm getting old. The exchange rate is actually about the same as it was in 1996. Coincidentally or strangely enough. So to the right of that 4,400, we have in that red box, that is the sort of the period of guarantee, or your guarantee period, however you want to say it. But essentially, here it's 3 months. So that means that's how long after you purchase the system, you bring it back. You can bring it back to the store with your receipt and get a refund. I'm pretty sure it's a cash refund. I actually don't think I've ever taken anything back to a hard off, so I'm not sure because I mean, sometimes they're just not going to have an N64 in stock. So I think they do cash refunds. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me on that. Sometimes it will be like 1 month, or in some cases like 10 days. I think like most games, I think it's like 10 days. Systems will be about 3 months. It just depends upon the item, depends upon if it's an electronic or not. But usually if you're buying something out on the main floor of the hard off, there will be some return period that you can get a refund. However, if you're buying something from the junk section, there is no guarantee. Those things have not been tested. This N64 with this particular label has been tested and it should be working. But just in case, if you have a problem within the next 3 months, you can come back and get a refund if you happen to be in the country. Not so for the junk stuff. You're buying that stuff as is. That's a separate thing. Now, going to the left, that very small 4,000, that is the price before tax. I believe, actually, I don't know if it's a legal requirement or not, but yeah, most of the price tags that I've seen, not only in Hardoff but in other stores, will include the price before tax. Most of the time they will include the price after tax, but not always. Japan has 10% sales tax nationally. I believe that's the only sales tax you have to worry about. It's not like America where different states have their own separate sales tax. There's only one sales tax in Japan, and it is 10%. So here you can see it was the original price, the base price, as it were, is 4,000 yen. And so 10%, 400 yen, that means the price above the big one, 4,400 yen being the final price. Next to the base price, you see the year of release. Here it's 1996, great year for gaming. And beneath that, interestingly enough, that line of text that they have beneath the price before tax and the year of release, it's actually just like a description of the item. So if you translate it here, it's like, let's see. Yeah, this system basically launched 3D gaming. I mean, it's not exactly true, or like it made a big shockwave in 3D gaming with 64 bits. It's a home console system, and it is very fast at loading ROM video games, because that was the big selling point of the N64 back in the day, was unlike the PlayStation, which you had to load up those CDs, the N64 loaded its games instantaneously. And then beneath that, we've got notes, which just talk about what is included with the system. And I can't remember, I actually kind of wish I'd taken a sort of zoomed out picture to sort of shown what state the console was in. But here it's listed as including the AC adapter, the AV cable, and a controller. Now, this varies depending on Hardoff. Most Hardoffs will do different things. Some Hardoffs, they will have the console, the controller, and the AV cables all shrink wrapped together so you can see what you're getting. Other times, it will just be a console with this sticker or this label attached to it and telling you what's included, and you've got to take it up to the register, and then they'll give you the stuff that's included with it. Other times you'll find N64s that have been shrink wrapped with all of its peripherals as well as some games. Some will have like 1 to 4 controllers depending on what you're buying. Every situation is going to be different. And then the other labels beneath that I didn't bother translating are just like the manufacturing number and like the product number, like just, probably like internal numbers for Hardoff or for Nintendo, like UPC codes, I suppose. So again, this is going to be the standard label that you encounter. This is the one that I saw all over the place when I was last in Tokyo going to a bunch of different Hardoffs. There are some that will just be like all red with black text, but the information will be by and large the same. Keep that in mind, is when you encounter different labels in Hardoff, I think they'll have all of this same information, so I think this image will still probably be useful to you if you're not really understanding what's going on in the Hardoff. And that's, I think, one of the real shames about Hardoff, is as much as I've tried to evangelize how good it is, I think there's still a lot of work that Hardoffs need to put in to meet the needs of foreign customers. Sometimes I've seen Hardoffs, I've seen a couple of Hardoffs that have started to print English, not exactly for like, they won't print English on the labels, but I remember seeing in the junk section, they printed like what was wrong with the particular system in both Japanese and really badly Google translated English. So that might be a concern if you're going into a Hardoff. I don't think I've ever seen one of these labels in particular ever printed with English on it. So keep that in mind. You can always download the translated image that I have on my website and use it as a reference. Actually, a lot of the stuff here is, I want to say, pretty unique to Hardoff. Most other labels are actually quite different from this, especially at the more specialist stores that you'll find in Akihabara. So I'm going to also go over those labels as well in this kind of format and just break it down and tell you what you need to know, as well as including some of the vocabulary. This label is actually really just your standard boilerplate one, because there is nothing wrong with this console. It doesn't have to tell you what's wrong with anything. So this, if you want an N64, you probably won't go wrong with this one, although it does not include the memory expansion pack, and it's going to work. This is something that has been tested, by the way, and the price is actually not terrible these days. So with that, if you have any questions, please leave a comment on this or on any other video. I will try and answer it as best I can. I hope this has been informative. If you'd like me to do anything extra, if you'd like me to go a little bit more in depth with any of these labels, please let me know. I have been your man out of Japan, Jake Contra, looking at a label from Hardoff. Thanks for watching. See you next time, and mahalo.